All right, let's do this. So, if you guys didn't hear, I'm in London, but that's not the big news that we're talking about today. Jake Paul and KSI just had their first unofficial press conference on Twitter Spaces, and yes, we need to talk about it. Want to make sure I get it out there. KSI hopped into enemy territory in this Twitter space. Not sure why he did it, but KSI, Mr. Knowledge, Strength, and Integrity, does things the way he does them. I don't know. He's answering questions of the opposite team. He's answering Jake's fans questions about why KSI does what he does, but that's not what got the people going. Someone let it leak that KSI was in the room, and guess who showed up? Problem child. Now this changed the angle of the conversation. No longer was it fighter talking to fans, it was the two fighters we want to see in the ring talking to each other, and some big things came out. What? Well, the breakdown. Let's go. All right, so let's talk about what happened. Jake basically ambushed KSI in this room. He basically said, I'm gonna say everything that I wanted to say to this guy for the last 2 years in front of my fans, and he's really not gonna be able to say anything about it. The first one was, watch yourself. And the first one was, KSI, you didn't fight Woodley. Why didn't you fight him? I fought him on short notice. Why didn't you? And to be fair to Jake, he kind of has a point.
Bro, that's what I did. That's what I did when Tommy pulled out. I fought Woodley again. I was training for a different fighter. I was training for a different fighter. You have no excuse, bro. You're bitch made and you know it.
KSI even said he regretted not going with the Woodley fight. So if that was the fight, why not make it now? And I get KSI too, he was training for a southpaw, bringing Woodley in now, even though I know, just like you guys do, Woodley's gonna sign and he's gonna show up. It wouldn't have made as much sense as sticking with a southpaw like Tommy. It fits his style. Is it an easier fight? Probably, but it doesn't mean it's not competitive, because it absolutely is. Tommy is a competitive fight for KSI, no doubt about it. Let's just say that Jake was right. Sure, he didn't pick Tyron Woodley. Okay, well, who else could there have been? And that is when Jake brought up Slim.
And you ducked Slim. You should have fought Slim because Slim beat FaZe Temper.
Bro, Slim is not even that great, bro. What are you on about?
Then why wouldn't you fight him? That's a bigger fight. Yes, he's undefeated. Oh my God. He's undefeated.
Honestly, Jake, Slim versus KSI is 50-50. Like, I think KSI could actually lose.
That's a good fight. That's a good fight.
Yeah,
that's a good fight. Why not
off his dick,
that would be a good fight.
Oh my God.
Now, Slim is the fight I told you guys that KSI should absolutely take. That was the one that made the most sense. Slim's undefeated. He's also knocked out Tommy, who KSI is fighting. Temper, Tommy, I know I say his name a lot. But, again, you come into what is, unfortunately, a kind of a conundrum for KSI. How does he go and fight a guy he's not prepared for? A guy that just beat this man and Ryan Taylor. What's up, brother?
Bro.
Good to see you.
How are you, my bro?
I'm chilling, man. Chilling.
You're looking healthy.
I'm glowed up, bro, I'm
good?
trying, I'm getting there. So again, while I don't disagree with Jake, in fact, I do agree with him. It should have been Slim. Absolutely should have been. But KSI is fighting Temper because of the style matchup, and that's really it. That's all I can really say. KSI got caught in a corner again here, and his defense was, like I said, okay. He said exactly what it was. I'm fighting Temper because he's a southpaw. That's what we prepared for. That's what my coaches said, and that's really it. But I think Jay got the upper hand here too.
Bro, I'm here to build misfits. Am I not?
Oh, come on, man. Come on.
What do you mean,
buddy.
come on, man?
Are you here to build misfits? Because you just said you were here to take me out. So which one is it?
And between a bunch of back and forth bickering, two schoolgirls in the yard going back and forth over who's their favorite crush and why they didn't talk to him at recess, both guys did end up saying, okay, well, let's make the fight.
KSI, you want to fight over the summer?
Well, I said what I said. I said what I said. End of the year, innit?
But are you actually
Why
going
not
to
fight
do
over
it?
the summer and then a rematch at the end of the
What
year?
do you mean? Am I gonna? Are you fucking dumb?
Actually, are you going to? Like, I'm ready.
What, bro? What do you mean,
November,
actually, are you
December,
going to?
September, whenever the fuck you want it. I just want to hear you say it out of your mouth because I know you're going to retreat, bro.
Jake actually pointed out that he already tried, and he's right that he said when Alex Wasabi pulled out last year that he would come in and fight JJ for free. Now, this is where I call a little bit of BS on Jake. He was not fighting KSI for free. As much as he wants to say it, That fight was way too much money for him to come in and say, oh, I'm just gonna show up and do it for free. Would he have shown up? Would he have done it? Absolutely, but not for free, and he knows that. That's a little bit of gamesmanship, and KSI called him on it. I think that fight's way too big to do it on 9 days personally, but I do think Jake would have shown up. It just would have costed a lot of this.
I offered to fight you for free, and you still wouldn't do it. So what are you going to do now?
You weren't going to fight me for free.
Hey, guys,
I swear that I was going to fight you for free. You can ask Logan. He called me.
No, you wouldn't.
He called me, and he goes, why the fuck would you agree to fight him for free?
And another reason that KSI said he didn't want to fight in the summer, and I think this is KSI's best reasoning in this whole conversation. He said he was building misfits, and he couldn't have said it at a better time, because 1 day later, we had a 5-year deal with the Zone in place for influencer boxing to survive through misfits in the Zone. And if we were just to do the KSI and Jake fight now, we wouldn't get to see that evolution. We wouldn't get to see what KSI's 3 years have been for him. It's been a long time, and I want to see him get ring time. This is just one more of those fights. And while Jake echoed that same sentiment, you're wasting the fans' time, you're wasting everyone's time, I think he just means he's wasting Jake's time, because Jake has moved on to a different realm at this point. He is doing the MMA, he is doing the pro boxing matches, and if we're gonna get the KSI fight, he might be right that we need it this year, or it's not gonna happen. That's the scary part, is we're playing a fine line here, a very dangerous game between, are we gonna get the fight, and is it happening too quickly? I don't really have those answers yet, but this isn't the end of the video, so I'm not gonna hit the outro. Both guys in the middle of that room decided we are getting this fight in December. Now, are they gonna hold to that? I don't know. This conversation wasn't over, because one of the most stone cold delivered sentences I've ever heard in a press conference that was both hilarious and had a bit of sinister malintent behind it is what Jake said to end this thing off. And it just left you with a taste of, oh, this is going to get very, very ugly if it ever happens.
I'm walking out with the ski mask, taking all the fucking earnings of this fucking thing, because you said we would fight winner takes all. I'm walking in with a ski mask, bank robbery, knocking your bitch ass out in 2 rounds, and then I'm doing a front flip off of your body while it's on the canvas.
And like I said, it's pretty funny. Like, again, Jake had every opportunity to win this back and forth, because he's in a room with a lot of his fans. They're all calling KSI out on fighting temper, not fighting Slim, not fighting Woodley, even some stuff about misfits and MVP, but it was Jake's room. It was his people. So yes, this comment was gonna go over well, but he delivered it pretty dang well, and KSI just kind of had to eat it. And again, it wasn't about, oh, who's winning points in the conversation, who looked good, who isn't. But it was just a matter-of-fact statement. Jake is that confident in himself, just like KSI said he's gonna leave Jake laying flat. He was gonna knock him spark out. He was gonna flatline him. Jake said simply, I'm going to knock you out with my ski mask on, commit a bank robbery, and then he told him he was gonna front flip off his body. What? But that's the level that Jake is confident. He said he would do that fight for free. He was so confident. I don't know if I agree with that. In fact, no, I don't. But the confidence you can see in him and in KSI is what makes this fight what we've always wanted it to be. And I know we're right there. The finish line is right in front of us, and we're about to trip over it. And we may trip over it if we're not careful, but this is what big fights are, and this is how you have to build them. This is the first unofficial press conference between these two, and I cannot wait to see if KSI can get the job done versus Temper, which is not a guarantee. Temper's a tough opponent. And if Jake is able to survive this PFL and pro boxing thing till the end of the year, and we finally get this thing, it's what we've always wanted, it's what we've always waited for, and it's what we quite frankly deserve. So this fight, this Saturday at OVO Arena, is really what's gonna determine it. Jake, KSI, will we ever get it? I don't have those answers, but this Saturday, we get one step closer, so I guess we'll find out.